Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway. Listen to the Broadway Beat. Broadway makes you wanna move your feet. Everybody's tapping into everything that's happening on Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, where we bring you the very best of what the New York theater scene has to offer. This week, it's Liza Minnelli's triumphant comeback at the Palace Theater with her new show called LIZA'S at the Palace. This limited engagement has already been extended through December 28th. We'll also drop by Tony's DiNapoli to catch up with the cast of the new off-Broadway thriller comedy Mindgame as they unveil the portrait for the show's star, Academy Award winner Keith Carradine. But we start things off by giving you a look at some of the Broadway shows that'll be closing in January.
See it. Someone just had to think of it. My 3 fiancés are all air hostesses.
Academy Award winner Keith Carradine has returned to the New York stage in Anthony Horowitz's new thriller comedy Mindgame at the Soho Playhouse, directed by Ken Russell. We dropped by Tony's DiNapoli for the unveiling of a portrait of Mr. Carradine, which was added to their wall.
Well, to be honest with you, once I'd got through the gate, I felt more like I was coming into a country hotel than a lunatic asylum.
Yes. It wasn't what you were expecting. That's right. What horrible music, if you don't mind my saying so, Dr. Farah?
Yeah. No, I don't. I agree with you, but the patients like it.
In 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I think this might have to be my new 8x10. When he was 16, his father died.
He killed his father. On a wine-tasting holiday at the Chateau Marillon, France.
No, his father died in a car accident.
Easterman was driving the car. He reversed it over his father.
Accidentally?
Twice.
Listen, my career began here in this city in the Broadway cast of Hair at the Biltmore Theater in 1969. That's where my daughter Martha Plimpton came from, and this is one of the highlights of my New York life. So this is, let me see now, there was Hair, there was Wake Up It's Time, no, there was Hair, that was Wake Up It's Time to Go to Bed, Foxfire, The Will Rogers Follies, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and now Mindgame.
Well, let's talk about Mindgame. First of all, welcome home again to the theater. How does it feel?
It's great. Listen, I love the theater. I'm an actor who loves the stage. And as I said earlier, I do movies and TV so that I can pay for my theater habit. You know? It's great to be back. I wish I could come to New York and do more theater more often. But who knows? You know, life is what it is. It throws things your way, and you take it as it comes. And I'm very happy to be here now. I'm having a wonderful experience. It was remarkable to do a play with the legendary Ken Russell directing, and it's a wonderful play, and I'm having a great time. So.
Well, let's talk about working with Ken Russell, because I'm a huge fan of his work. And the night that I went to the show, I got to meet him in intermission and talk to him for 15 minutes.
Oh, good.
And I watched you guys at the end of the show when you take your bow.
Yes.
You all looked down to him, and the admiration in all of your eyes, particularly yours, was amazing to watch. What was it like working with Ken during the rehearsal process, and then when you started previews when the audience was added in?
Well, Ken Russell, listen, I mean, the man is a legend, and it's that doesn't happen by accident. And he has such a distinctive point of view, and he brought that to this experience. You know, he brought that to what we're doing. So, and he has a unique sensibility, and it was very well matched to what Mindgame is, because it's a play about distorted perception, about distorted reality, about questioning one's perception of reality, and questioning one's own sanity. Is what I'm seeing really what I'm seeing? And he brought a unique perspective to that, and I think has provided us with a really unusual evening of theater. It's very entertaining. It's a lot of fun. It's funny, and it's weird and kind of outside the box, and the audiences are having a really wonderful time, and I think that has a lot to do with Ken Russell's vision.
Well, let's talk about the audiences, because you're so close there. It must be a really great little theater to play.
It's very intimate, and particularly for this kind of play, because it's a play about psychodrama. It's a psychodrama about psychodrama. I actually now call it a psychodramedy, because so much of it is really absurdist humor. And for the audience, because it's so intimate and they are so close to what we're doing, they are very much a part of the evening. And it adds a level of intensity to the theatrical experience that I think works very well with this material.
You don't want to write a book about Easterman. Like I was saying, he's different to all the others. You don't want to be in the same room with him. You don't want to be anywhere near him. He'll play with you like the devil. And then he'll break you down, and he'll destroy you.
Nurse, Victor, you are pushing me perilously close to disciplinary action.
What more can you do to me?
You can go now.
What?
Just go. I'll call for you funny, Judy.
What's great about this play is it's people are not sure what they're seeing, which is kind of fun. Like even the set has a life that if you pay attention, you'll be like, wait a minute, what did I just see? Which also makes it very exciting. In fact, I think sometimes they were paying more attention to the set than they were to us.
And talk about working with Ken Russell. I mean, he made his stage debut as a director. What was the experience like for you?
Well, of course, it's an honor and a privilege to get to work with someone with his kind of experience and talent, and he is a crazy man, and that he kind of lended itself well to our play and to creating kind of the world in which we created with him. He definitely brought something to the play that would not have happened without him. So for that, we're excited, and he's just like a little impish devil, and so it's fun to have him around. He would sit in his little chair and be just as, in the end of the play, he would leap out of his seat and scream things at the audience as well. So it's like another actor in the play. We're sorry that he's left finally to go home. He's stuck with us a long time, which was nice.
Well, what I can say about the play is that a writer of pulp fiction comes into an insane asylum to try to interview a serial killer. And he gets all kinds of resistance from the doctor over there. The doctor is a little bit odd. And then he gets more and more sucked in and there are several revelations, several exposés from the past that comes in about him, the writer. And finally, as the writer is the protagonist, therefore the public is implicated as well in the idea of perception and what is sanity and what is insanity. So, and I think the denouement at the end is really something that is really special, I think, and one cannot give it away, because even then it's ambiguous. I mean, really, we cannot give away the ending. It's not like Sleuth, where you know Milo is not really dead and so on and so forth. You cannot give the ending away in this one. It's an ambiguous ending. People are arguing about what the ending is. And so there's something in it for everybody. I know many intelligent people who are just totally opposite from the way I am about the whole play. So that's what's lovely about it. You cannot give it away. And people come back very often to see it again for the clues.
Yeah.
And to try and figure out what really happened. And that's very well done. I think Anthony wrote a marvelous script.
What's been the best part of the experience for you with doing the show?
There have been many good things. The best part of the experience, I would say just doing the role, because for me the role is something that has a journey. He has a long journey. He starts off somewhere and he ends up somewhere else. And that's always fun, exhausting but fun for an actor. So you get to play a whole series of different type of bits of character. And that's what I think has been the most rewarding thing. And also meeting everybody. I mean, Ken Russell grew up with Ken Russell, Women in Love is iconic. I thought that film sort of changed society, or at least reflected a change in society at the time, you know, with the new sensibility along with D.H. Lawrence. So that was like really something very special to work with Ken Russell, you know. And the other thing is just the play. It's something so new, so different. That I mean, it's something they do in the UK a lot these days. So they juxtapose violence and humor, and it's like Shakespeare. Shakespeare does that, you know. And people cannot come and say, well, I'm going to see a drama or I'm going to see a comedy, but everything is going to be there. A tragedy as well.
I don't understand the point you're trying to make. The point is that once you're wearing one of these, it no longer makes any difference. You have abrogated control, or rather, control has been taken away from you. It not only defines you, it devours you. A man wearing a straight jacket can only be one of two things: an unsuccessful escapologist or a madman.
The legendary Liza Minnelli has made a triumphant comeback at the Palace Theater with her new show called LIZA'S at the Palace. Due to overwhelming demand, this limited engagement has already been extended through December 28th. Directed and choreographed by Ron Lewis, the first act is Liza singing her signature songs, including Maybe This Time and Cabaret. The second half is a dance-filled tribute to the groundbreaking nightclub act of Liza's godmother, Kay Thompson. Enjoy our exclusive footage of Liza's at the Palace.
I'm not going like Elsie. Stop by and leading from cradle to tomb. It isn't that war
working with Liza is not like working with anyone else. It's, it's unique. She and I are really, really close. We have been for 38 years, But this was special because it's not just another nightclub show. It's not that at all. This is really personal to her, She absolutely adored Kay, respected her music, and not many people know Kay. So this was not an easy sell, not at all. But she kept pushing, and the thing that made it special is because it's so personal to her, and she adored Kay and adored her music,
Your style is so specific. When you see a nightclub act, or if you saw a show, you knew it was Ron Lewis. Why do you think you two mesh so well together?
I don't know. As I said earlier, I worked with her the first time in 1970. I did a show for her that opened at the Waldorf, and she toured it for about 2 years. She knew about my shows in Vegas, and she called and asked me to do it. And I arrived in New York to rehearse with her the first time, not knowing what to expect. I really didn't know much about her work then. This was way before Cabaret or Sterile Cuckoo. And it took us about 5 minutes to just be totally comfortable with each other, and it's been like that ever since.
This is the best music in the world. I mean, I actually knew Kay. Kay lived at Liza's for the last 6-7 years that she was alive, and she was the most interesting character, and full of stories and full of great stories about MGM. And she taught me some of those, like I Love a Violin and some other things back then. And it's just been such a treat to actually take what she did and try to recreate it in a style that I think she'd be proud of. I mean, it's terrific music, and my background is close harmony vocals, from years ago, and to get a chance to arrange this stuff like this is really a great privilege and a real treat and fun.
You took these original arrangements. Talk about how sophisticated her arrangements were.
Her arrangements are like so hard to sing, such close harmony, very sophisticated. I mean, also the special lyrics that she wrote had such a great sensibility, almost more intricate than anything I've ever done before. And she also in the show, the guys, Liza leaves the stage at one point, and the guys do a version of the song Liza by the Gershwins, which Kay arranged for one person. It was arranged for the musical Ziegfeld Follies. It was never used. But we took the arrangement, and I had the chance to actually do it in 4 parts. So it's like really being able to try to kind of put myself in her head and think about it in the sophisticated way that she would was really a treat and a great challenge and a lot of fun.
And let's talk about working with Liza. You've worked with her since what year?
1991. This is our 17th year, and it's just been great from day one. I mean, she has such respect for the musicians and the talent around her, and treats us better than I mean, it's just great. I mean, I love this job, and I love the chance that I've had to do it so long, and I'd go anywhere she asked me to go because it's just such a great, fun collaboration, and she's a dear person. Not to mention a legendary talent, but just really fun to be with and really fun to work on new material with. And it's really a collaboration in every way.
boys, you get goosebumps just listening to these fabulous arrangements.
Aren't they incredible? Well, that's Kay Thompson. You know, that's this wonderful woman that not too many people know about, but everybody in show business knew her. She's like an underground legendary figure, and I was lucky enough to have her as a godmother.
Take me back to the first time you remember seeing her nightclub acts, because she revolutionized nightclub acts.
I was 2. I was sitting on my mother's lap across from my father, and all I remember is how she never stopped moving. You know, before that, people just stood at a mic, but she had hung the microphones from the ceiling in order to allow herself and the Williams brothers, one of which was Andy, to just tear all over the stage. And it was funny and witty. She was supposed to play one night, and she played almost 60 weeks. Wow. Now, there weren't enough people in that town at that point. You know, it was 1948, to have a new audience. People came back. And R.J. Wagner told me the other day that he must have seen it 40 times. They just were crazy about it.
Sophisticated. I mean, and these arrangements. Just talk about these arrangements. The vocals on these are amazing.
Well, she created a harmony that nobody had ever done before. And I remember talking to Gordon Jenkins and Nelson Riddle and all of these wonderful people. And they said, oh, Kay Thompson influenced us completely, because her harmonies were so sophisticated. And instead of just 1, 3, 5, and you know what that means, you know, she would put seconds and flatted fifths together and these things, and it would be just glorious. And she would build an arrangement that, you know.
One of the biggest highlights of me today was meeting Ron Lewis, because I fell in love with him during the Debbie Reynolds shows and, of course, during the act. And I told Ron his picture was never in the souvenir book for the act, so I never knew what he looked like.
I know. He's wonderful. He really, he knew Kay also.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done this without him. You know, I just couldn't have. There's no record of Kay's acting. It's not on film anywhere. It's not on TV things. It's nothing. So he went from a spirit and a love that I had, that he also had, a respect and an affection. And he's just done a wonderful job. I mean, I'm so lucky he's my director and my choreographer.
And talk about the boys. I mean, your musical director, Billy Stritch, again, and these 4 boys. Talk about this wonderful company you've put together for the Palace.
Well, again, these guys knew Kay. Yeah. I don't think Johnny Rogers knew her. Johnny was a great kid. But Jim Caruso, Tiger Martina, you know, Cortez Alexander, they knew her. And she influenced them, too. So when I asked them 2 years ago, you want to be the Williams brothers? Maybe we'd make a record or something. That's how it started. And then it built from there. And then Ron got involved, thank God. And then it's been very successful all over the world. But I mean, 4.5 stars all over England, which is wonderful, you know.